Religious persecution is coming to America, the rise of Christian nationalism and the prophetic warning. In a time of increasing political and religious polarization, Christian nationalism is emerging as a powerful force within American society, one that threatens the foundational principle of religious liberty. A sobering example comes from Pastor Joel Webbon, president of Right Response Ministries and senior pastor of Covenant Bible Church in Austin, Texas. A vocal supporter of President Donald Trump, Webbon stated that Christians should become a terror to their enemies, effectively advocating for militant Christianity, or in other words, Christian terrorism. He also made the astonishing claim that the Dark Ages were actually a golden age. Historically, the Dark Ages, approximately 500 to 1500 AD, were anything but golden for those who chose to follow the Bible rather than the decrees of the Roman Church. During this period, millions were persecuted, tortured, and executed by religious authorities, many simply for reading the Bible or keeping the seventh-day Sabbath, as noted in Fox's Book of Martyrs. The Bible warns that such persecution will recur in the last days. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service. John 16:2. Despite this dark history, Webbon and others within the evangelical Christian nationalist movement are now romanticizing that era and seeking to revive its church-state union in the United States, a system the Bible describes as the image of the beast. Revelation 13:14-15, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. In May 2025, President Donald Trump launched the Religious Liberty Commission, a body for defending faith freedoms. However, its composition is overwhelmingly aligned with White Sunday-observing evangelical Christian nationalist ideologies. Rather than safeguarding pluralism, the Commission elevates one religious worldview while marginalizing others, especially Sabbath keepers and non-evangelicals. During his inaugural address, Trump declared, "The golden age of America begins right now." Such rhetoric echoes the dominionist belief that America must be taken back for God to prepare the way for Christ's return. But this is not the mission Jesus gave to his followers. "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight." John 18:36. Many evangelical leaders today promote the idea of a great end-time revival, often linked to national prosperity and military strength. Yet Scripture warns that not all revivals are of God, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. 2 Thessalonians 2:9-11. This false revival seeks unity, but at what cost? History shows that whenever church and state unite, dissenters suffer. Revelation warns that in the final crisis, worship will be enforced by law, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Revelation 13:15. Ellen White clearly identified the end-time result of this movement. Those who honor the Bible Sabbath will be denounced as enemies of law and order. The Great Controversy, page 592. The roots of Christian nationalism run deep in American history. In 1630, Puritan leader John Winthrop declared the Massachusetts Bay Colony a city upon a hill, aspiring to be a model Christian commonwealth. Centuries later, during the Cold War, America infused Christianity into public policy with the additions of "in God we trust" on currency and "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance. These shifts were not just symbolic, they marked the growing influence of a movement intent on reshaping American government and law according to a specific religious vision, often to the exclusion of others. Institutions like the Center for American Progress have warned that Christian nationalism is the single biggest threat to America's religious freedom. Scholars like Catherine Stewart document how the movement has historically opposed civil rights, women's rights, and religious minorities, all while claiming to defend morality. True religious liberty, championed by America's founders, was never about favoring one denomination or doctrine. It was about allowing every person to worship according to the dictates of conscience. See First Amendment, U.S. Constitution. The so-called Golden Age being promoted today is not a return to biblical values, but a repetition of history's darkest chapters. It is a false revival that merges church and state and paves the way for religious persecution. Bible prophecy reveals that the final conflict will revolve around worship, true versus false. Fear God and give glory to Him, and worship Him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. Revelation 14, 7 seventh-day Sabbath keepers who honor the Creator in obedience to the fourth commandment will increasingly be viewed as subversive and un-American. As the image of the beast forms before our eyes, we must remain faithful, even in the face of opposition. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14:12. The final test is coming. Are we prepared to stand?